Becky? No, I'm fine.
Oh, okay. You know that music
Well, good morning on this beautiful sunny Sunday morning. My name is Reverend Mark Robel, and I am an affiliated community minister here at All Souls. And with me this morning is our very own Caitlin O'Brien, associate minister here. And we are grateful today for the technical wizardry of Jesse Edwards sitting in the back. Thank you, Jesse. And for Tammy Barber for her mastery of Microsoft PowerPoint. And of course, Gary, our accompanist today. Thank you, Gary, for your talent. And now, let us deepen into worship. As we come into this circle of community, we acknowledge the Nahantic and Mohegan people as the traditional caretakers of the land on which we worship. We honor and pay respect to the Nahantic and Mohegan ancestors and their lineage who today uphold traditional practices, art, and education. So come into this sacred space. Be not tentative. Bring your whole self. Bring the joy that makes your heart sing. Bring your kindness and your compassion. Bring also your sorrow and your pain. Bring your brokenness and your disappointments. Spirit of love and mystery, help us to recognize the spark of the divine that resides within each of us. May we know the joy of wholeness. May we know the joy of being together. Welcome to All Souls, where all souls are you are joyfully called to worship.
And I invite you to rise in body and or in spirit to sing our opening hymn, Light One Candle. This evening will be the 8th night of Hanukkah, and Mark will light the menorah as we sing. Light one candle for the Maccabee children, with thanks that their light didn't die. Light one candle for the pain they endured when their right to exist was denied. Light one candle for the terrible sacrifice justice and freedom demand. But light one candle for the wisdom to know when the peacemaker's time is at hand. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears. Light one candle for the strength we need to never become our own foe. Light one candle for those who are suffering the pain we learned so long ago. Light one candle for always believing that anger won't tear us apart. And light one candle to bring us together with peace as the song in our heart. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears. What is the memory that's valued so highly? We keep it alive in that flame. What's the commitment to those who have died when we cry out they've not died in vain? Have we come this far always believing that justice would somehow prevail? This is our burden and this is the promise and this is why we will not fail. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears. And may we share the light that's within each of our hearts with one another. Let's turn to the camera near Jesse and wave to souls who are online with us this morning. Good morning. And turn and remain in place and wave to one another and wish each other the peace within our hearts. Let us pass the peace. Something new this morning is that Kyle Murray is online greeting with us from here within Unity Hall. All is well, Kyle? All is well, so good. So while Reverend Mark lights our chalice, would you please speak with me the words in our order of worship? Symbol of light and knowledge, symbol of warmth and freedom. We light this chalice as a symbol of our faith. Here we gather to celebrate hope and the infinite possibilities of love. Thank you, Mark. Reverend Mark will also light our Advent wreath candles to mark the second week of waiting to celebrate the birth of the prophet Jesus. Growing up, we lit our Advent wreath on Sunday nights in the O'Brien household. Usually it would begin with somebody yelling out that we had forgotten to, and half of us were already in bed. So I've logged many, many evenings standing before an Advent wreath in my pajamas. This is a happy memory, always touched by the flickering flames at night and that sense of anticipation. And thank you, Mark, for also lighting a candle of gratitude this morning. Once again, we find ourselves deep-heartedly thanking the scientists whose curiosity and care have given us guidance, vaccines, and therapeutics to support living in a global pandemic. They've sought answers and have kept looking and learning when the answers weren't clear. I was struck by the fact that a therapeutic that's now under review leans on an idea that was discovered when we were pursuing the SARS virus in 2003. And because of the trajectory of that virus, that science wasn't needed at the time, but it's needed now. And it may prove effective against the Omicron variant. A discovery nearly 20 years ago would prove useful for a challenge not known at that time. Scientists care about answers, yes. But they also have to develop a comfort level with the unknown. Keep living and working in that complex space. So we thank them once again for the tenacity and the faith that their work asks of them. Let us say amen. Amen. Reverend Mark will be sharing with us today about mystery and that mystery and unknown, and also waiting. And it seemed really fitting to reprise a story that he and Perry shared, which is an adaptation of Mo Willems' story, Waiting is Not Easy. Perry's irritability in this story still cracks me up when I watch it, and the final surprise still gives me goosebumps. So let us take a listen.
Perry,
Yes?
I have a surprise for you.
Yay! What is it?
The surprise is a surprise.
Oh, is it big?
Yes, it is.
Is it pretty?
Sure is.
Can we share it?
Yep, we can.
I cannot wait.
Well, you're gonna have to.
Wait, what? Why?
The surprise isn't here yet.
So I will have to wait for it.
Yes, you will.
Oh well, if I have to wait, I will wait. I am waiting. Waiting is not easy. Mark, I want to see your surprise now.
Oh, I'm sorry, Perry, but we must wait.
I'm done waiting. I don't think your surprise is worth all this waiting. I will not wait any more. Okay, I'll wait some more.
It'll be worth it.
Mark, We've waited too long. It's getting dark. It's getting darker. Soon we'll not be able to see each other. Soon we'll not be able to see anything. We have wasted the whole day.
Well,
We have waited and waited and waited and waited and waited. And for what?
Perry, for this.
Wow. This was worth the wait.
I know.
Tomorrow morning, I want to show you the sunrise.
And you know what? I cannot wait.
Masterfully told and masterfully written. That's hard to capture, that sort of, that simplicity of waiting and the gains that come with waiting and developing a comfort level with the unknown. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Every Sunday we pause to pay attention to the joy and sorrow that we experienced in the week just past. You can share via email to belovedcommunity@allsouls.net, or in this book in our lobby, or on the YouTube chat during services. Let us prepare our hearts for what is shared. Mary Gorton requests your thoughts and prayers for the quick recovery of her 7-month-old granddaughter, who's currently in the hospital awaiting tests. Our thoughts are with you, Mary, and with your family. And I'd like to invite anyone who would like to come forward to light a candle of intention to do so now. You can come forward and keep in mind healthy spacing as you approach the candles. And we know that our souls online might be lighting a candle at home. Let us enter a space of prayer and meditation. Grounded by the majestic glow of candles that have been mindfully, intentionally lit, let us settle into our sense of the sacred. We are in love with our answers. The quicker, the better. Answers are so delicious, and they're needed to progress as people. Let us be in love as well with our questions, with our waiting, with our anticipation. For it is in this not knowing that we taste a therapeutic humility that is friendly to a soul who seeks depth. And so let us walk this line of knowing and not knowing with grace and with the good company of one another. Let us say amen. And let us hold this as we share a sacred silence. Amen. Thank you, Gary. Our reading today is called Open to Awe by Sherry Woodbury. Perhaps some here have outgrown mystery. Maybe you have doubts about Santa, or have forgotten the magic of a newborn child.
One might easily lose touch with awe in the struggle to do it all, or simply to survive.
Hear now this invitation to open yourself to surprise today and be ready to greet unexpected delights.
What star shall shine on you? What child remind you that all can be touched by glory?
What gifts can you give? How will you join the holy story? Here ends the reading.
So I recently found out that there are actually 4 stages to Christmas. You all thought there were 4 Sundays to Advent. No, no, no. In our Unitarian Universalist tradition, there are 4 stages. Number 1, you believe in Santa Claus. Number 2, you don't believe in Santa Claus. Stage 3, you play Santa Claus. And stage 4, you look like Santa Claus. Oh yes, the season is upon us once again. The frenetic pace is building. I was in Costco yesterday afternoon, and it was crazy town in there. We begin to get the sense of that dual energy that's starting to swirl all around us. That holly jolly, good-hearted, good-natured feeling versus the stress of wondering, how the heck am I going to get everything done in time? And through all of this is that feeling of anticipation, that waiting, that sense that something big is about to happen. I so vividly remember as a child, myself and my siblings huddled at the top of our stairs, counting down the minutes by the seconds until we were able to come downstairs on Christmas morning. You see, we were not allowed to come down until 6 a.m., and even though we had no idea what time it was, one of us would wake up the other ones, and the counting would begin. Now, needless to say, none of us knew our parents were probably up until 5 a.m. that morning putting together a bicycle or a sled or a toy that had 3,000 pieces. But what I most remember about those days was the waiting and the waiting, wrapped in the anticipation and mystery of what was to come and believing something big was about to happen. And it never disappointed. Even as an adult, moving into that look like Santa phase, I continue to be awed by the mystery around me. I continue to believe that something big is about to happen. I'm thinking about the colors of the leaves in the fall. How does that happen year after year? What mystery is unfolding? Yet at least once every fall, my breath is taken away by a surprise encounter of a spectacular, color-filled landscape. At least once each fall, I am struck by the colors as the sun begins to set. And at least once each fall, I am reminded that as one season is ending, a new one is just beginning. And I wait, sometimes with anticipation, for what is right around the corner, knowing that something big is about to happen. You see, we're surrounded by mystery in our lives. We're surrounded by things unknown. The vastness of the night sky, the tumult of the swirling ocean, the working of a teeny tiny atom, the miracle of life. We often sit on the edge of the unknown, yet believe, as with the profound and moving power of love. I bet if I asked each of you what love means to you, I'd get a different answer from every single one of you. Yet we believe. Take, for instance, what happens here in this community. Whether in person or online, we build together something that we cannot necessarily touch, but we know it exists. Our relationships here together, our relationships with our family and our friends, so many of the things that bring real joy to our lives are built on connections where our hearts and spirits join. Have you ever had the experience of listening to a piece of music or reading a poem or admiring a piece of art when you're transported to a place that can only be described as a place bigger than you, a place of ultimate peace? When you know you are surrounded by a universe so full of love that it can be overwhelming? That, for me, is where I believe the divine lives. But we're also surrounded each day in our lives by the unexpected, the mystery, by blessings. I was recently talking to a relatively high-ranking manager in the organization that I work for. I don't know this woman very well, and she has the reputation of being a little edgy, a little salty. She recently lost her husband unexpectedly, so I offered my condolences and asked her about her husband, hoping I wasn't being too personal or crossing a line. She proceeded to tell me a bit about him, how they met, and how long they had been married. At the end of the conversation, she said to me, "Thank you so much for asking. You've been a blessing to me today. You helped me remember my husband." I stepped into that unknown, and not only did she feel blessed, I felt incredibly blessed. You see, I truly believe that our hearts and our spirits wait with anticipation to be opened up to the experience of human connection, to the experience of loving and being loved, to the experience of believing. And that is what I see happening each year during this season. Folks have a little more pep in their step, smiles come a little bit easier and frequently. Our hearts and spirits are waiting, they're anticipating the rebirth of love. We know it's coming and we know it's big. When I was younger, I used to wonder why we couldn't always treat each other the way we treat each other during the holiday season. Why does this only happen once a year? Now that I'm older, I am grateful that this happens yearly. I am grateful for the anticipation of once again the confirmation that the human spirit is good and loving and kind. I look forward to this rebirth of love. For me, this season is not about the presents, although I love getting presents, or the decorations, or the lights, or the trees. It's about witnessing this mystery being told by our ancient stories and believing. As I've talked many times up here, I grew up in a very Polish household. Christmas Eve was a major, major production in our house. The meal is called Vigilia, and it's very similar to the Italian feast of the seven fishes. I have a searing memory of my grandmother, my babci, standing by the stove, frying those little smelts, or the whole herrings, with those tiny little beady eyeballs staring up at me. It was a meal where every item played a major role in that evening's meal. And there was no deviating at all. It was the same every year. If you didn't like something, you ate it. There was no negotiating at all. Excuse me. But to this day, I continue to anticipate, to wait for that time together. To this day, Tom and I have continued that tradition. Every item is the same, and you eat every item. Talk to our son about pickled sardines and stewed prunes. But for my family, that evening begins the rebirth, the opening of our hearts, the joyful sound of our spirits getting a peek, just a peek, of that magnificent mystery, witnessing love in real time. And believing, if only briefly, that all is possible. So where is your staircase that you're huddled on, counting down the seconds until you charge down into the darkness and the mystery? Whose life are you blessing or being blessed by? Where do you peak at this rebirth of love and know that it's all possible? Hold on to those moments, folks. Cherish the waiting and the anticipation. Know that in that mystery is where life happens. As we charge headfirst into the craziness, keep watch for the surprises in the ordinary. Anticipate that something big is about to happen. You won't be disappointed. Amen, and may it be so. Now, please stand in body and in spirit as you are able and join in singing O Come Emmanuel. Verses 1, 3, and 4 will be on the projection. While Reverend Caitlin extinguishes our chalice, please speak with me the words in our order of worship. The service has ended, but our work is not yet done. May our spirits be renewed and our purpose resolved as we meet the challenges of the week. The chalice flame is extinguished until once again ignited by the strength of our communion. Whether you're here in Unity Hall or at home, please join in a gesture of reaching out to one another. Souls, may we find the courage to revel in the experience of the mystery. May we approach the unknown with excitement, even if we can only muster a tiny bit. May we celebrate the curiosity that leads to searching. May we meet ourselves along the way and love us unapologetically. Go in peace and return again with great joy. Amen.
Choice. Thank you. And Reverend Mark, I didn't come here expecting to look at the word love, the word belief, the word mystery differently. Thank you for turning my gaze in those ways. Sometimes those words they lose a little of their vitality. Thank you for bringing us
vitality this morning. And thank you truly for asking me what staircase I'm huddled at. What am I eagerly awaiting? Thank you. As we close this morning, we appreciate your offerings for the good work of this congregation through mailed or electronic giving and at the baskets on your way out this morning. And we are receiving donations of nut butters. These will be given to Fresh New London to be shared with our neighbors who are experiencing food insecurity. And today is the last day for drop-off for holiday gifts from All Souls to Safe Futures. Tomorrow, December 6th through Friday, December 10th, you could bring by your gifts to Safe Futures. Their administrative office is across the street, anytime between 9 and 5. And it is getting colder, friends. Because of this and because of an increase in COVID cases in our region, we are discontinuing coffee hour until further notice. Friday Night Folk is planned for December 10th. Nancy and Ben Parent will perform with Steve Elsey. Remember to reserve your seat by calling the All Souls office. I wish you a beautiful day huddled around your own staircase. Go in peace.